Hi, this is Frank Warren. You're watching Lights Out.
This is Faisal Khan for Lights Out, proudly sponsored by Spartans Law. And with me via Zoom, I'm delighted to be joined by Dexter Makaza, all the way from the greatest city in the world, which is known as Liverpool. Dexter, good evening to you, mate. How you doing?
I'm good, and yourself?
I'm very well, thank you for asking. Best city in the world, best accent in the world, undefeated professional fighter, born in Liverpool, Liverpool fan. What more could I ask for on a Thursday night? Dexter, let's just get down to it, mate. Hit you up on Instagram the other day. Understand that you're going to be featuring on the GSW card in Bolton, I believe in May. Firstly, how's preparation and how's training coming along for May?
Having a couple of little hiccups, so can't really get too much into that, but hopefully it should be good to go for May 6th. But you know what it's like being an athlete and you're constantly pushing your body, and certain times it starts being a little bit iffy, but hopefully we should be good to go.
Well, fingers crossed. Hopefully, we'll get to see you out on fight night, and hopefully, we get to bump into you on fight night as well. But firstly, let's just talk a bit about yourself. 5-0 now. Heading in the right direction. You've been a pro for a little while now. What have you made of your start to your professional career so far?
It's been a bumpy road. Literally, I had my pro debut March 14th, so literally the Saturday we fought, and then by the Thursday the pandemic hit and everything was a lock off. So then it was like 16 months between then and my next fight, and then just little different things like injuries or shows falling through. Should be on double digits by now, but got to take what you're given and roll with it.
I mean, you're just like a number of fighters that I know. You're one of those that suffered through the pandemic, and I unfortunately know a few fighters that have obviously had to call time on their boxing career because of the opportunities being so limited throughout the pandemic, and obviously financially it didn't make sense for them to carry on. But I have to ask you this one question, and it's a question that I ask a lot of fighters in your situation at the time. Did you ever sort of consider leaving the sport of boxing because of how bad it was throughout the pandemic with opportunities being very limited?
No, truthfully speaking, no, because since I was a kid, that this is all I've wanted to do. This is all I've seen myself doing. So I was just in it. I use the analogy, it's like when you're driving through a tunnel. So a lot of the time it's like dark and you can't see when the light's gonna come, but you just gotta keep driving and driving until you start to see that light. And then when you see it, you're at the end of the tunnel, and then once you're through that, you're good to go again. So that was my approach in the pandemic. It's a bad situation, but you got to make the best of it. So just locked in on training, and really that's what helped my mental state in the pandemic. The fact that I was able to train and continuously improve, because I knew at some point it's got to get back to normal.
Or another term we could relate to: at the end of a storm, there's a golden sky, right?
There you go.
Oh, you've come through the other side of it now, and you're sort of like heading in the right direction. You're 5-0, still undefeated. What's the plans now from now till the end of 2023, perhaps after 2023 in the next 18 months? What have you got your eyes set on?
Just get these fights in, get the experience in, and then we're good to go. Titles, 100% titles. That's what we're looking at. Most of the top fighters, if you name the top fighters from middleweight to light heavyweight, there's a good chance I've been in with them and I've more than held my own with them. So I know I'm off a level. I just need the experience. So when it's time to do it under the lights, like I need the stepping stone kind of fights. So like when it's time to get at that stage under the lights, I'm good to go. But in terms of skills, in terms of ability, I'm more than confident to back myself.
Oh, it is a very challenging division is the 168-pound, and so is light heavyweight and middleweight as well. Now, a fighter in your position, obviously, the first step will be the British title. I know you sort of got to find your feet in the boxing world, but how far off do you think you are from a British title? And when would you ideally like to be sort of seeing yourself challenge for that British outright?
Get me to double figures. Let me win the English title. Get me to double figures, and then we're good to go. I'm very familiar with Mark Heffron, the British champion. Our weight, I've sparred him twice. Good round. So yeah, like I say, I've been in with most top names, like even world champions, the likes of Callum Smith, Liam Smith, and I've done pretty well. So in terms of skills, but there we just need the experience and the seasoning.
There's other good fighters as well in this division, such as Lerone Richards, Zach Chelly. They're sort of getting past the mid stages of their career. But these are fights that you're going to be targeting within the next 18 months.
100%. I'm good to go. just experience. That's the key word right now, experience. Let me get that in, and 100% we're targeting all them.
You mentioned the Smiths, Liam Smith and Callum Smith, and obviously Liverpool. It's like a religious city when it comes to its sports, football and boxing. And boxing, you have to look at fighters such as Tony Bellew, of course. As I just mentioned, you've got the famous family of the Smith brothers as well. You've got Natasha Jonas, who's doing great things in boxing right now. I mean, Liverpool is buzzing when it comes to its boxing. How confident are you to say that you are going to be sort of hopefully be the next face of Liverpool that represents the sport of boxing?
Obviously you can't see too far into the future, so you can't say I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that. But in terms of what I've seen myself be able to do with fighters of good quality, yeah, I'm fully backing myself, and I'd be an idiot not to back myself. Like, what am I doing it if I'm not backing myself? So I know I've got the skills, I know I've got the talents. Just I'm with Tom Stalker and GSW, so the management and the backing, which is a big component, I've got that. So there's no reason why I can't reach them heights right now. I've got to continue putting the work in that I have been doing, and the sky's the limit.
Well, definitely very exciting times, especially with another young super middleweight coming through as well, because it is an action-packed division, and it is run by one man in Canelo Alvarez, and he defends his undisputed world titles against another British fighter, John Ryder. I'm pretty sure you know John well. I mean, Dimitri Bivol showed everybody how to beat Canelo Alvarez, but that was at 175 pounds in the light heavyweight division. How does a fighter like John Ryder beat Canelo at 168 pounds? A division that he's completely ruled for the last 3 to 5 years.
John's just got to do what John does. Just be that stocky little bull, get closer and try and outwork him, because you're not going to outbox Canelo Alvarez unless you're the likes of Dimitri Bivol, which he isn't. No disrespect to him, but he hasn't got that level of ability. So John's got to do what John does and just make it rough, make it tough, get in close, use them southpaw angles to create a different opening and just try and outwork him. And I don't think he's going to pull it off, but you got the opportunity of a lifetime, so make the most of it. And strange things have happened. Buster Douglas beat Mike Tyson, so strange things have happened.
It's boxing, anything can happen. I have to go back to Liam Smith as well, a fellow Liverpudlian like yourself. Obviously, his last victory was against Chris Eubank Jr. Now, I mean, boxers like yourself know how difficult it is to make weight. And I just want to ask you about Chris Eubank Jr. Do you think he's still struggles to make 160, or do you think he has more of a chance of beating Liam Smith at 168? And if the rematch does happen, which we expect it to, do you think it's the same outcome as the first fight, or can you see anything different happening?
To be honest, the original outcome that shocked me. Obviously, I thought Liam Smith had a very good chance of winning. Same way I thought Chris Eubank could have won. So I thought whoever wins it, they win it going the distance and they win it close. So I didn't see the knockout or the way in which Beefy dealt with them. I didn't see that. But Beefy's no super middleweight, so plus the ball's in his court, so it makes no sense to take it anything above 160. Even taking it on 160, like the ball's in Beefy's court right now, so something like 157. It could hit Eubank, it could do, but I'm not in this camp to know his habits or what he walks around at, what making weight is like. So I can't really answer that because I don't know too much. But if I were Beefy personally, after I've given into all the demands and I've come through and I've dealt with Eubank the way I have, I'm going to be dictating everything about it. So Beefy's a 154 fighter, make it at 156, 157, and take it from there.
Well, it's definitely a rematch we look forward to, and there's still, a lot of unanswered questions going into the second fight. But yeah, it is a rematch that we hope that does get announced pretty soon. Dexter, I've got to get your thoughts on Amir Khan. Obviously, news broke to us at the beginning of the week that he failed a drugs test. I believe it was just after the Kell Brook fight, which has angered a lot of fans because it's taken over a year for that to come out. Dexter, your thoughts on the whole current Amir Khan situation?
I try not to delve too much into the politics behind people's situations and whatnot, but in terms of the drug testing and failing drug tests, it's like what's going on in your body. You're very conscious of what you're taking, and if something, I'm not saying he has injected anything, but like I'm saying, in the event of something only getting into your body through an injection or them kind of substances, substances shouldn't be taken in them sorts of mannerisms. So yeah, there's no excuse. There's no excuse for drug cheats. All liabilities on you, so you know what you're doing, and you got to face the repercussions. But I don't know too much about this situation, so I can't really speak too much on it. Same with Conor Ben.
Fair enough. I'm gonna have to get your thoughts on another fight that people want to see, which we thought we were gonna get at one point, but it's kind of fallen through. But there's still hope that it might happen one day, and it has to happen one day for the sake of the division. Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. I know you're a guy that doesn't want to go into the politics, but let's just say that fight does get made, which we still hope it does. How does that fight pan out? You know, you've got two great technically skilled boxers going for all the marbles in the heavyweight division. What do you see happening in that fight if it happens, Dexter?
To be honest, I think Usyk's the best in terms of skills. Usyk is the best heavyweight in the division, hands down in terms of skills. But it's not just about skills, especially with them big men. The size difference between him and Fury is ridiculous. And if that fight were to pan out, I'd probably lean towards Tyson Fury on the basis of that. But if I'm being totally honest, I haven't been a big fan of the heavyweights in years because I just think they're just not getting schooled like they used to back in the day. So the quality is not of what it was, say, 30 years ago. Imagine the times of Riddick Bowe, Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson, Razor Ruddock. I think they clean up in today's division. So I think going back to the amateurs, I think they're starting too late. Like, they're coming from different sports. They're playing football, they're doing this, they're doing that. And then they get to like 17, 18 where they realise they're not going to make it in them sort of sports. So they cross over into boxing. I think they need to be starting earlier and getting schooled earlier. And then by the time they get to the professional stages, after going through the amateur systems and whatnot, I think you'll see a lot better quality. As you've seen with Usyk, he's gone through in the manner that I've just established, and you can see what he's been able to do in the cruiserweight division and the heavyweights. But him versus Tyson Fury, I think Fury will probably win.
So is your message pretty clear to like sort of the next younger generation that are coming through to start off early rather than making a sort of U-turn at the age of 17, 19 years old and going into boxing? But you want to see kids these days that are looking, the sort of next crop of fighters that are looking to turn into boxing, you want to see them start off at a younger age?
100%. You've got to go through the grassroots system. You've got to go through the amateurs, go in the nationals, try and win the nationals, go in your international tournaments, try and get on Team GB if you can't get the international experience, because that will lead you in good stead for the professionals. Like, you'll have seen a lot of styles before you've even reached the professionals that will be in your memory bank. So when you get faced with something new, you'll have that adaptability. So it's so important going through the amateurs, and you see it a lot. People trying to skip that, like they'll skip the going in the elites and try and go in the pros, thinking it's the grass is greener on the pro side, and you find out quickly that it's not. So yeah, I can't stress the importance of the amateurs enough.
Okay, Dexter, well, we'll definitely make sure we share that clip out of everybody in terms of how important grassroots boxing is at a younger and earlier age. Dexter, before we let you go, what can we expect to see from you on Fight Night in a few weeks, and where can the viewers find you on social media?
So my social media is Dexter Makaza 1, DexterMakaza 1. That's both on Instagram and Twitter. And yeah, just in a few weeks, if I'm on this fight in a few weeks, then just expect an exciting performance. Just a lot of skills, a lot of speed, a lot of power, most importantly, a lot of ring intelligence, and get the exciting finishes. And just for this year, I'm just planning on being active this year, get the fights in and being active, because that's what we need at this point, experience, and then we're good to go. We're good to get let off the lead and call out the big names.
Top man. Well, Dexter, listen, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much for coming on. Hopefully we're going to see you during fight week, and hopefully we look forward to doing a face-to-face interview at some point.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Dexter Makaza, thank you very much for talking to Lights Out.
Speak to you soon.